Guys, I wanted to talk to you a little today about scrying, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about how to scry, what to expect. But I want to talk to you about, because I just started an Etsy channel to sell bowls, and I wanted to talk to you guys about why I choose the bowls that I do. I started years ago with a flat picture frame mirror that I was doing in a shadow works process. And I did a bowl with that same process, and someone picked up the bowl and immediately had this intense read. She did this for a living. This was her occupation, and she talked to me about what I did with the bowls, and she said it was one of the best ones she'd ever used. Now, a bowl is when you put water in the bowl and scry using that water. It's no different than a mirror. It's just a vessel holding water. Now, I choose mainly three-dimensional bowls. This one's got tulips on it. But the reason I choose the bowls I do, and I'm hoping I can get this to show on the mirror. I don't know if I can. If you can see inside, do you see the depth and the level of reflection you get? It's not just a flat surface. So the reason I choose the bowls I do is for the inclusions, the scratches, the marks, but also the shapes that the glass itself from the other side give it. Because when you're scrying with water or even a ball, because you do this with a crystal ball also, it's not so much that you're looking at the reflection on the surface, which of course you can get messages from, but you're looking for messages over here. You're looking through the water or through the crystal ball, through the crystal or the stone or whatever it is you're scrying with. You can scroll with a pool of water outside, doesn't matter. But that's why I choose what I do. It's for this depth, these little. I don't know if you can see the depth. This one I really wish you could see better because it almost undulates. It almost has this jellyfish undulation with the light, so that when you're scrying, and I originally started, before I did bowls, doing bubble glass picture frames. What I like about these and those are the vortex effect that it gives you in your meditation process, which is what scrying is. This is a tool used in your meditation to receive messages from the divine, spirit, your higher self, whoever. I like something with depth as opposed to just a flat surface. It almost pulls you in. It takes you deeper, and you see more. So I guess here's where I need to talk about the scrying of itself. So first of all, these bowls, and I know this is going to sound weird, call to me and tell me kind of what they want done. I've got a piece of a video I'm going to put an insert here, but it's got this bowl clear, and then here it is finished out. And I don't know if you can see, once again in this video, these scalloped edges through the glass make a convex. They create a convex. They create a vortex. They pull you in. I don't know if you can really see that. I don't think you can. There you kind of can see it a little better. But anyway, and they, believe it or not, they paint themselves. These bowls are, how this whole process starts, I clean them off in a vinegar bath to get all the stickers off and all that kind of stuff. These are all reclaimed bowls, so they're all from thrift stores or estate sales, that kind of thing, whatever pops out to me. And if it's running, they're cleansed in a creek that takes the rainwater off the mountain for 24 hours on a full moon. They're also bathed in the 3-day succession of the full moon. to clear out the energies for it. They're finished on a new moon. So each bowl can take, up to a month, depending on what the weather is and what's going on, to do. Now, when I say these even paint themselves, I look at the cleanse bowl for a long time and let it speak to me. Some say, I want to work with this deity. So then I incorporate the colors or whatever I feel for that deity. Most of them are black, but I do a lot of times feel very strongly about using color with some. This bowl in particular, I felt very strong goddess, dark goddess vibes too, specifically. Now, when I say they paint themselves, in the painting process, 2 layers of paint are applied to the bowl to create a smooth first coat, but then an herb mixture goes in between the paint layers, and depending on the bowl, they may have 10 to 12 layers of paint on them. I use an enamel so that it's very long wear. You will see some of the herbs sometimes through the glass. I don't have a problem with that, but these are all divinatory herbs. I'm not going to tell you everything that goes in them. Bay leaf, hyssop, orris root. There's a pretty long little mixture of stuff that I use. Chamomile, damiana, or just to name a few. And I'm not going to tell you all because then that's not giving you my blend. But it's all the same kind of paint. Now, I haven't used textured paints. I haven't used any paint that should react with one another. Yet this particular bowl decided that it wanted to crackle. Now, that's usually a 2 different kind of paint process. It completely did this on its own. I had no plan on it, and no matter what I did to this bowl, it was going to stay crackled. So these bowls kind of take on a personality of their own. But once again, I choose the bowls for the depth and for the pattern so that it creates in itself a depth, you can almost kind of see it in this one, that convex, that pulling out, as opposed to just having a reflective surface. This bowl even, and I don't know if it's a purpose or not, but has a little spout, a little dip in it for pouring out the water. This one's got a very beautiful cross inlay, a very lotus flower image. So this one is very goddess oriented. To cleanse these, you just want to rinse it out and keep it clean. They come with a cloth that you wrap it in. I like to use rainwater when I'm scrying in these bowls. Storm water, if you want, depending on what you're doing, would dictate it. Water out of the tap is fine, whatever you want to do. Herbal teas, anything like that you want to use, that you use in your practice, that connects you to spirit, divine, deity, whatever. Use for in here. Connecting to your bowl, these I would smudge it first. It's been cleansed, but I would smudge it again. And with anything that you get, your crystals, anything, you want to charge it. You want to set your intention. You want to tell it what its job is and connect to it. I like to place it under the bed, under your pillow, or somewhere near your head, just like tarot deck. And then, like I said, once you're done, a cloth dried out, and you're done. One of the things specifically with the bowls that I like to tell people to do, if you're connecting this bowl to a specific deity, and I have some that are geared towards that. One bowl spoke to me nothing but Lilith. That's all I thought about. So I, painted one to Lilith. One is specifically for water deities. It spoke to me. When you're using this to connect to deity, one of the things that I like to do for it is to place an offering for a period of time in this bowl on your altar to said deity. Let your deity know this is going to be a communication tool with them, so that when they know you've picked this bowl up, you're ready to begin your work, and you can communicate better. So you've got your bowl, you've got water. Now I'm going to tell you there are a lot of ways to scry. There's a lot of videos on how people do it, and none of those are wrong. They don't always have to be right for you, however, and I'm going to tell you why. We all have different gifts. Scrying, unlike any form of divination where you're using your intention, is all based on your gifts, your clair gifts. Whether that be sight, sound, taste, smell, all of them. When you work with any of your tools, and this is what this is, it's a tool, you're going to connect and get messages in the ways that you connect and get messages. Just because your partner in class sees everything doesn't mean you're going to see everything. You may taste something, you may hear something, you may get pictures in your head. Your divinatory gifts are going to be what are activated and messages brought to you by using any of your tools, and this is just another tool. I will tell you, though, that the start of using, whether it's a mirror or a ball or a bowl of water or a mud puddle, all seem, and I say seem because I can only speak on what I've experienced and other people that around me have experienced, all seem to start in the same way. Almost a cloudy cover. Some people see a fog. Some people describe it as cloudy. Sometimes for me it's a swirl. But like I said, I've created a different depth, a vortex, almost a pulling in and out energy. So I have been told that you don't even need to fill these with water, that people get messages just from looking into the bowl, from picking it up. But as a general rule, it's described as a fogginess or a cloudiness that appears over the water or the mirror or the ball that you're looking in. And I can tell you you will see that. If you're trying it out, I'm going to tell you, you're going to need an hour, 2 hours sometimes, and nothing may happen at all when you first try. But as anybody who's worked with it knows, sometimes it takes a while because it is a meditation process. This is not flip it on and you're automatically going to get something. Sometimes you don't get anything. Different people do them different ways. Some people use them at their altar, bright light. Some people scry in water on the day when they're, during the daylight when they're reading their tarot. This is where not anybody can really tell you how to do it because your gifts and your abilities are going to dictate how you use it, how it works for you. I can just tell you how it works for me and what I recommend to start with. You can see these little bumps in the bottom of the herbs that are in the paint. I don't always open a circle of protection when I scry. I would recommend, especially if you're a beginner, to do it. It's important that you get a ritual that works for you for opening and closing a session, for sure. I cleanse between it with smoke. You can do it with incense. I prefer a dark room, a dimly lit room where I cannot see the light. I prefer a table in front of me and either a candle or a light on the floor where I can't see the light at all. I don't mind the glow, but I don't want to see the reflection of the light in the reflection. You're going to get reflections. You're going to see your reflection just with the dim light. I know people who scry with 12 candles around the thing. Everybody's different. For me, I prefer a dark or dimly lit room. I like quiet. Although music does get me in the mood, I do everything with music. I don't practice I don't do any of the ritual or practice any work under the influence of anything. That's me personally. I'm not saying you can't. Once again, this is where teaching and doing, you have to separate and find out what works for you. I'm just telling you, for me, why I choose what I choose. And you can find all these on my Etsy shop, The Antler Crown, no space in between, or order them through the channel, message me. I don't know that I'll do a video on a reading. I guess if I do one and just happen to record it, I could put those on there. Only because, like I said, there are times, even with tarot cards, I'll sit down and nothing comes through. So I don't want to, I'm not going to live stream something and, have you waiting and nothing happen. But these are the mirrors. I hope you learned something. Like I said, watch everything you want to watch on it. Depending on your gift and how you work is going to determine what you get out of the bowl. What works for me and works for the next person may not work for you. But the meditation practice, the cleansing, all that is the same. Nothing changes with all that. So, I hope this, finds you well and enjoy. Thanks.